Some places are not just destinations, they are institutions. They have shaped how the world travels, how luxury is defined, and how people remember a life well lived. This series is about those places, not a list of top 10 beaches, a guided tour of the cities, coasts, and resorts that carry history, beauty, and a reason to go now. We will look at why they matter, what it feels like to be there, and how to experience them with intention, not as a tourist ticking boxes, but as a guest of a place that has lasted. 8 destinations, 8 different kinds of wonder. Let's begin. Kyoto was Japan's imperial capital for more than 1,000 years. It still behaves like one. While Tokyo races, Kyoto walks, because this is one of the last great cities where tradition is not a museum display. It is still practiced in temples, in kitchens, in the way a room is prepared for a guest. There are more than 1,600 Buddhist temples and 400 Shinto shrines. The famous ones, Kinkakuji, the Golden Pavilion, Fushimi Inari, with its thousands of vermilion gates, Arashiyama's Bamboo Grove, are worth every photograph. But the real Kyoto is quieter. Stay in a ryokan, a traditional inn. Sleep on tatami, eat kaiseki, a multi-course meal designed around the season, not the menu of last year. Walk Gion at dusk, when Geiko and Maiko still move between tea houses. Visit in November if you can. The maples turn the city into fire and gold. Kyoto teaches a holiday lesson the modern world forgets. Luxury is not speed. Luxury is attention. The Amalfi Coast looks like it was designed by someone who refused to choose between mountain and sea. 13 towns cling to cliffs above the Tyrrhenian. Positano is the postcard. Amalfi is the historic heart. Ravello is the quiet aristocrat, high above the water, with gardens that look like they belong to a Renaissance prince who also loved the view. Because this is Mediterranean living at its most theatrical, and still livable if you choose the right hours. The drive itself is famous and narrow. Do it once, slowly, or take the ferry between towns and let the coast arrive as it should, from the water. Stay in a hotel carved into the rock with a terrace that faces west. Eat shalatielli with seafood. Drink the local falangina. Walk the path of the gods if your legs allow it. A high trail that makes the sea look like stained glass. Come in late April, May, or September. Summer is beautiful and crowded. Shoulder season is when the coast still belongs to you. The Amalfi Coast is not a secret. It is a standard. Every other dramatic coastline is compared to this one. Santorini is a leftover crater. Thousands of years ago, a volcano collapsed and left a giant flooded caldera. People built a white city on the rim. That is why the photographs look impossible. They are standing on the edge of an ancient disaster that became the most famous view in the Aegean. Not only for the sunset in Oya, though you should see it once, but for the geology, the wine, and the feeling of sleeping inside a cliff. The villages of Oya and Fiera hang over a drop of 300 meters. Many hotels are cave houses cut into volcanic rock, cool in summer, quiet, designed around the view. Drink Assyrtiko, the local white wine grown in basket-shaped vines that protect grapes from wind and sun. Sail into the caldera in the late afternoon. The light on the cliffs is the reason people come back. Avoid high August if you dislike crowds. May, early June, and late September are the island at its most generous. Santorini is a reminder that some of the world's most beautiful places were not planned as resorts. They were survived, then perfected. Marrakesh is not a beach. It is a theater. The Old City, the Medina, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site of alleys, souks, palaces, and hidden houses called riads. From the street, they look plain. Inside, Courtyards, fountains, orange trees, and silence. Because few cities still offer this contrast so completely, chaos at the gate, calm behind the door. Stay in a riad, not a chain hotel, on the new town's edge, unless you need modern scale. The best riads are small institutions of hospitality, breakfast on the roof, mint tea at any hour, a pool the size of a jewel box. Walk Jama El Fna as the sun drops. Storytellers, smoke, drums, orange juice stalls. Then escape to Jardin Majorelle, Yves Saint Laurent's garden of cobalt blue and cactus, or drive into the Atlas for a night in the mountains. Marrakech works in winter and spring. Summer can be fierce. This is a destination for people who want a city that still has a pulse and a room that feels like a secret. Cape Town is one of the few cities on Earth that can offer a mountain, 2 oceans, world-class wine, and a serious cultural history in the same week. Table Mountain is not a backdrop. It is the city's roof. Take the cable car or hike if you are fit. The view explains why people stay longer than they planned, because the setting is almost unfair, and the food and wine now match it. Drive Chapman's Peak. Stand at Cape Point where the currents meet. Spend a day in Stellenbosch or Franschhoek. Whitewashed estates, old oaks, wines that compete with anywhere in the world. Stay in the V&A waterfront for convenience, in Camps Bay for the beach and mountain postcard, or in a wine estate if you want mornings that begin with vineyards. Cape Town is also a city of layered history, colonial, apartheid, and the long work of becoming something new. Visit Robben Island. Walk the Bo Kaap. Do not treat it only as scenery. Best months: November to March for beach weather, February and March for wine season without the hardest heat. This is a destination that rewards curiosity as much as luxury. Queenstown calls itself the adventure capital of the world. That is true. Bungee, jet boats, ski fields. But the reason it belongs in this series is not the adrenaline. It is the landscape that makes the adrenaline look small. Lake Wakatipu sits under the Remarkables. The light changes every hour. An hour and a half away, Milford Sound, more accurately a fjord, drops waterfalls from cliffs that seem unfinished, because this is nature at institutional scale. It does not feel designed for visitors. Visitors feel designed around it. Stay in Queenstown for restaurants and energy, or in a lakeside lodge toward Glenorchy if you want quiet. Take the cruise into Milford. Fly over it if the weather allows. Walk even a short stretch of a great walk if you have time. New Zealand's South Island is far. That is part of the point. You do not stumble into this place. You choose it. Come in New Zealand summer, December to February, for long days and open roads. Winter if you want snow and a different kind of drama. The Maldives is not a city. It is a nation of atolls, more than 1,000 islands, most of them tiny, many of them given over to a single resort. Because this is still the clearest expression of one idea: remove everything except sea, sky, and silence. An overwater villa is a simple luxury that has become an institution. Breakfast arrives by canoe. The lagoon is a swimming pool the size of a country. The house reef is often a few strokes from the deck. Choose the resort by what you actually want. Some are families and water slides. Some are quiet, adult, and serious about coral and food. The best ones treat the ocean as the main building. This is not a cultural deep dive in the way Kyoto or Marrakech is. It is a reset, a place where the institution is hospitality itself, perfected, isolated, and expensive for a reason. Avoid the wettest months if you can. November to April is the classic dry season in many atolls. Go once if you have never seen water that color. You will understand the photographs. Paris is not a holiday add-on. It is the template. The grand hotels of Paris and the palace hotels around it taught the modern world what a stay could feel like. Service as choreography, a room as a stage, the city as the entertainment. Because no other city combines art, food, walking, and hotel culture at this density. Stay in a historic palace hotel if the budget allows. Not for snobbery, but because they are themselves institutions. If not, stay central and walk. Paris rewards feet more than taxis. Do the obvious things well. The Louvre without rushing, a morning in Saint-Germain, dusk on the Seine. Then at Versailles as a day of state power turned into gardens, a reminder that this channel's other films and this travel series are the same story. Places built to impress, now open to anyone who arrives. Spring and early autumn are the city's kindest seasons. August is quieter in some neighborhoods and packed at the monuments. Paris is not new. That is why it still works. 8 places, 8 reasons to leave home. Kyoto for attention, Amalfi for the cliff and the table, Santorini for the view that should not exist, Marrakech for the city behind the wall, Cape Town for mountain, ocean, and wine in one frame, Queenstown for landscape that makes you quiet, the Maldives for water as a room, Paris for the city that defined the stay. In the episodes that follow, we will go deeper into each, the hotels that matter, the seasons that change everything, and the history underneath the holiday. Until then, remember the rule of this channel. Do not just visit a place, understand why it lasted.